G'day fellas. Today we're going to be playing with a little bit of meme magic. There's nothing quite like it, is there? We're going to be going into a 2 versus 2 game here, and the question is, how greedy can we be with the Portuguese? That's really the question that we're going to be asking, and I'll be providing you the answer to that. So we've got a couple of different videos to be looking at. So for the first video here, we're up against Majorkill. So for those of you who don't know who Majorkill is, he's a fellow YouTuber. He mainly focuses on Warhammer 40k stuff, so it's exciting to see him trying out Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. So who knows what the future may hold. We may see some Majorkill videos coming up shortly for the Definitive Edition. Majorkill, please confirm or deny in the comments. Thank you. So, like me, he's also a fellow Australian, and I know a lot of people do listen to my videos just for the accent, so for any of you out there who would like a little bit more of that, I encourage you to head over to his channel. I'll leave a link down in the description. Alright, let's get back to the meme magic. In this game, we're playing on Deccan, so I'm not sure whether it can really be used as an example. But nonetheless, let's do it. So we take the early trading post. This is going to send our economy into overdrive. So in addition to that, we're also starting with a market. So we're going maximum greed build. As you can see, deck name, very important, meme magic. Always name your meme decks meme magic. If they're not called meme magic, then are they really memes? No, they're not. Even though we've forgone going for the cows in the middle, it's still going to be a really nice and economic focused build. In this game, I said to my teammate, look, I'm going to do my thing. If you die, that's your fault. You know, even if that's 2v1, it's none of my business. What my business is being as greedy as possible. And so the build order that we're going to be doing today, it's economic theory, 700 coin, 1000 wood, refrigeration, royal mint. And then from there, we've got a couple of other options, whether we want to go to industrial and get factories, whether we just want to stay in the fortress age and mass up dragoons. We've got a number of different options, so it really depends how the game plays out. It's very tempting to go for the naturalist here and be even greedier, but unfortunately, we really do need the 400 wood. It's going to enable us to build a stable, to get upgrades at our market, and to get a house in as well. So in the transition period, we're aging up with 13 settlers here. Portuguese start with 7 settlers, so they're a lot quicker than most civilizations. In addition, it's also Deccan, so you don't want to be aging up too early on Deccan. I know some people, like the Russians in particular, like to do that 2-minute age up. I've never been a big fan of that. So we're now gathering up even more wood. We want to hit that magic 125 mark. That's going to enable us to get steel traps. Steel traps are going to increase our gather rate on our hunts. And when it comes to treasures, what we're really looking for are some wood treasures and XP treasures to get our shipments even faster. Now this build it's a little bit unrefined, so I guess you could say it's a little bit like myself, really. It hasn't been optimized, so when you are doing this build, you might need to throw your own little pajazz on it. So we've got 5 settlers on coin, we've got 8 settlers on food, and we're gearing up to go fortress. Normally you wouldn't gather more than 300 coin, but because we're going to be getting that market upgrade, it's 125 coin. We need to be gathering 425 coin. Alright, 700 coin is down. Meme magic is in business. We've hit age 2, so we're going to secure with our second town center, we're going to secure a hunt, and we're going to secure some coin mines. On Deccan, it's a little bit difficult just because of how the forests spawn. Because with the forest spawns, they're very sparse. Ideally, I'd be liking to cover some forests, but unfortunately, nothing I can do. So we've hit that 300 coin mark. We've gathered over a little bit, but not to worry. Now that second shipment in the second age, we're not going to be sending that now. We're going to be saving that for the third age because we are the ultimate in greed. We're not experiencing any pressure from the enemy at this stage, and well, to be fair, it's 4 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Do we really expect to be receiving pressure this early? And the answer is no. And so at 5 minutes and how many seconds is it going to be? 5 minutes and 10 seconds? 5 minutes and 9 seconds we're able to click up. That's not too bad of an age up, you know. I wouldn't say it's my fastest, but it's definitely up there. And then when we start aging up, we gather up the wood. So that wood's going to be paying for our stable, it's going to be paying for our houses. So Major Kill going for a much more economic second age. His partner is on the Sioux. You can see he's actually taken 2 of the trading posts at the top. So, yeah, highly likely he's gone heavy economy. Whereas we're rushing the third age. That's what's important. So, with this economy, because we're shipping 1,000 wood, we're going to be able to put down a lot of infrastructure, but we're not necessarily going to be able to support it that much. So in comes the 1,000 wood, and we're going to chuck this town center down. So we've already secured 1 mine. We're going to secure a second one, and a little bit more coverage. And we just continue to push forward. Hopefully this doesn't get scouted by the enemy, because when the TC is going up, Major Kill having a little bit of banter in there. When the town center is going up, even just, you know, 4 cav is... Oh, great. Okay. So we do get scouted by it. Looks like just the war chief. But if he had brought 4 cav along with him, that town center would burn to the ground, and I would be 1 town center down. So maintaining settler production, it's really, really key on the Portuguese. Even though we're looking at getting out dragoons at the moment, we're prioritizing that settler production. That settler production is going to enable us. So the settler production is really going to enable us to push into the second game and be really greedy. I did queue up 5 dragoons, but I cancelled it. I said, no, I'm greedy. I don't want units, I want upgrades. I want that extra 20%. So that extra 20%, you know, it's going to pay for a lot of children. It's going to pay for a lot of villages. And that's what's important. So just even 2 dragoons on the field early. It's not much, but it's enough to deter rather, any potential enemy aggression. Now, in the event that we were getting rushed, we would probably be in a fair bit of strife here. I probably would have shipped the 5 dragoons as my first card. And here I'm attempting to wall, but the pillar isn't spawning. Making sure that I delete the pillars, very important. Don't waste your wood, don't waste your time. And our second batch of dragoons in, it's another big batch. We've hit 2 dragoons on this batch. So we're looking hot. We are looking very hot. So as I was saying, my teammate, Chopper, he's up north. He's just having a good time. I think he's got some musketeers going. He's not doing any memes though, so, you know, are you really playing if you're not memeing? I don't think so. So we're going to move it a little bit forward. Now that we've sent Royal Mint, we're going to maintain production out of all of our town centers. And we're going to keep getting upgrades from our markets and keep production of dragoons. Dragoons are a really safe unit for the Portuguese. The reason why they're so safe is because they're quick. They can move around the map. They can go raid the enemy and they can get away from the enemy. They can kite. They're just an absolute beast of a unit. I would honestly say the dragoon unit type would be the best unit type in the game. It's an incredibly safe unit type. And here, a single settler scaring off my dragoons. I take it back, the settler is the #1 military unit type. Look at that bad boy. Making sure to micro the individually attacked dragoon back, because that's what dreams are made of. So with that 1,000 wood, what we've been able to do is we've been able to begin upgrading our dragoons already. So we're getting ranged cavalry caracol. So that's going to increase the range of our dragoons by a further 2. And it might not seem like a lot too, but when you've got a big mass of dragoons, let's say even 20 dragoons, when you move them, what that ranged cavalry caracol is going to enable you to do is have not only your frontline dragoons attack, but also the second and the third line dragoons also hit those attacks. So now we've run out of economic shipments to send, or greedy shipments, so we're going to send 1,000 coin, and we're going to be opting for an age up here. We're going to continue to maintain villager production, and we're just going to transition everybody over to food from coin and from wood. So hopefully we'll get those guys over soon. That's definitely the plan. So now we're starting to build our mass of dragoons. It's 10 minutes. It's a little bit late in the game. If we're up against aggressive play here, this would not be the build order that I'd be going. I'd probably be going a build order in the top right of my screen and then just surrendering. That's normally the best build order against early aggression. And so now that 1,000 coin has arrived, we're going to be picking it up, and we're aiming to hit the industrial age. We see Major Kill starts walling off the middle of the map, but you know, this is Deccan, mate. You can't be walling it off like Orinoco. It's just not how it works. And we spot there's a war hut here, so we can see that they're starting to set up for some map control. But you know what beats map control? Heavy cannons. Heavy cannons always beat map control, and so that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for some heavy cannons. So this build is called Meme Magic. So when we get the next opportunity to, we're going to take a pause and look at the deck and just see what we've set ourselves up for in the late game. The enemy begins to push in on the bottom base, so we make sure that we send all of our Dragoons down there. He's not siege dancing. So now that we've hit the industrial age, making sure that we send both factories. We've got a huge amount of potential in the industrial age. We've got the Dragoon upgrade card, we've got plenty of artillery, and the most important thing is that we've got the native card and we've got the military or the building upgrade card. Now what this is going to do is it's going to enable us to flex our score. So when it comes to any sort of meme game where you're booming, what you want to do is inflate your score as high as possible, and then that's going to enable you to flex on your enemy even further. So as we move towards the end of the game here, we begin to see the fabled matchup between the veteran Uland and the Petard. So what a lot of people don't know is that the Petard actually counters the veteran Uland quite decisively. So the Petard has got a 393 health with a 40% melee bonus or melee defensive stat. So I'm encouraging people, you know, if you're up against Ulands, just build Petards. They're very effective against enemy Ulands. The reason why Petards are so effective as well is because if you get any low health Petards, what you do is you just simply get a few of them, and if they start dropping down in health and they're targeted by the enemy, just send it towards the enemy buildings and blow it up. That way you don't lose your Petard. It's a very effective strategy. It allows you to take out both the enemy's infrastructure and the enemy's units at the same time. So really, Petards are probably going to be seen a lot more in this next patch. We find the enemy explorer. He's left with nowhere to go. He's been locked into a cage. But the good news is that we have brought beer. And so we see Major Kill going for a juke here. He's splitting up his units. He's put the Gurkha to the north. We've got the Explorer moving in towards the south. He makes a run towards the exit. It looks like the Petards are going to be able to chase him down. The Gurkha's still got about 50% health. Major Kill's managed to juke the Petards. He's putting a comment into chat just to agitate the victors here. And the Redcoat comes up and snipes the Explorer. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me, Chopper, mate? Are you bloody kidding me? I had him cornered. That kill steal. Oh, man. Alright, so let's move on to game 2. But before we do, I just encourage you once again, go check out Major Kill's channel. He's got a lot of RTS stuff on there, so I'm hoping that in the future we'll see some Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition stuff there as well. Great game, Major Kill. Wasn't as close as I would have liked, but it was good to see that that Petard v Ulan matchup. Alright, so moving on to game 2 here. So we're going to take it a little bit more quickly here. We're going to be focusing on the build order. The key here is that we're ignoring our allies. We basically just let them know what we're doing, and we tell them to make units, and we work our magic. So we're starting off, we're doing what is known as a market start. So with the Portuguese, because we're going for this greedy build, we're just going to be starting off with a market. So we're mining 50 coin. We're making sure that we're getting an additional 50 wood as well, so that we can buy hunting dogs or research hunting dogs, and we can afford to build a house. Once we've got those resources, we're going to be moving everybody over onto food and hoping that we can get our house down before we get population blocked. So we'll be successfully able to do that. So transition, we're electing to age up with the quartermaster. We need that 400 wood for our stable as well as for our houses. We're shifting villages over to coin here, and we're going to be aiming to hit that magic number, that magic 300 coin, and then we'll be leaving everybody off coin and getting them onto food. So it's a very simple transition period. We've got that 125 wood already, or almost 125. I've got 123. And so that wood is going to be for steel traps. So it's very important that we get steel traps. That's a 20% bonus to our hunting gather rate. So really, really important that we get that done. All right, so moving closer to age up, we're honing in on that 300 coin. Now, keep in mind we're going to be spending 125 of that on our market upgrade. So we ship our 700 coin and we get that market upgrade straight away. That's what we do when we hit our age up. And we're going to be sending out our wagon. We want to be finding a coin mine and a hunt together. If we can't find a hunt, then that's all right. We'll take the coin mine. But we need to make sure that we get this town center up quickly, because with this town center, we're going to be shipping our third town center to this one as well. So it's important that we get it down and still have just enough time to be able to do that. All right, so we begin aging up. We've got our town center down. Now keep in mind that the town center takes the same amount of time as it takes to age up. So if you don't have your town center down at the time that you age up, then by the time the town center pops, it's going to be too late to ship your third town center to your second town center, which is what you want to be doing. So when we hit age 3 here, the build, instead of going for 1,000 wood, is going to be going for 1,000 coin. So we're going to be mining 90 coin so that we can put our single dragoon in the batch. Once the dragoon is in the batch, that's fine, because as soon as that coin comes in, we're going to collect it really quick and we're going to be able to pop out 5 dragoons immediately with it. So we've been able to change our home city point, and it's now the second town center, and then we're going to push that one even further. So our stable's up. Now with the stable, the key here is we don't want to start the dragoon until we're able to gather the coin effectively. So what does that mean? That means that even though I could put my dragoon in the queue right now, by the time it is completed, I'm not going to have gathered all the coin that I need, and I'm not going to be able to complete my batch. And because I need to get my batch out of 5 completely, I need to wait for my coin to arrive. That doesn't mean that I wait for it immediately. What that means is that I queue it when it's about 1/3 or 1/2, or sorry, 1/3 or 1/4 remaining on the shipment, and then that gives me time that gives me enough time to pick up the coin. So you can see we task 5 villages or 4 villages here to pick up the coin, 2 on each, and they're going to be able to gather the coin, and that's going to give us enough time so that we can pop out our units. So in this game, fortunately, we're not up against the most aggressive opponents once again, and even if we were, you know, I've advised my teammates, hey guys, make sure you focus on units. I say that, but I see my Chinese ally is going for a fast fortress, so perhaps he didn't get the memo. I do see his name is not in English, so perhaps he didn't get the memo, but that's okay, because we're Portuguese and we're playing the meme magic build, and we're going to have an incredibly strong mid to late game. So by shipping the 1,000 coin instead of the 1,000 wood, what it enables us to do is get out these early batches of dragoons, and we're able to maintain villager production out of 3 town centers and full military production out of a single military production building. So it really gives us a lot of power in this early fortress stage. Even though we've only just aged up, we're still able to keep up. And now we send 1,000 wood. That 1,000 wood is going to be able to do a lot of work for us. We're going to be picking up both of the trade posts. We're also going to be upgrading the trade route. We're also going to be putting down 4 houses as well. That'll take us to 1,000 or 100 population space. In the meantime, we're continuing unit production. We're having absolutely no trouble meeting the unit production. Here I put a single dragoon into melee. He's snaring the explorer, so if he tries to run away, he's not going to be able to do so. So with our dragoons, what we do is we begin applying pressure to the map to attract the enemy units, and by attracting the enemy units, what that does is that prevents any pressure on us. So if they're busy chasing our dragoons around the map, they're not going to be pushing in with those musketeers, because they have to use those musketeers to defend against our dragoon attacks, and our dragoons are faster. If we see them starting to push towards our base, not a problem at all. We're just going to move back towards our base, and they'll be in time to fight. So we're searching for villagers, we're on the hunt, we find another explorer, great, we'll take the experience, and it means if he was thinking about building a sneaky town center up there, he's going to have to wait a little bit longer to do so. So we're gearing up for industrial. Keep in mind, it's only 12 minutes here at this point, but in a team game, the earlier you can hit industrial, the earlier you can get your fagics, the earlier that you can get your factories, and the faster your meme magic begins to produce. So Lime, our teammate, telling me that Green has gone out, but I let him know it's fine, we will win. We've got the power of memes after all. And at this point I notice that my score begins to elevate a little bit above the enemies. It's not a significant amount, so I'm at 20,000, we've got a 17k and two 13ks. But I'm confident that I can carry it. I know my way around the Portuguese late game quite well, and so our goals for the late game are going to be heavy cannons, more heavy cannons, and there's also going to be a few dragoons, but mainly heavy cannons. That's essentially what we're going to be aiming for, and this is what it looks like. So what we did before we sent our heavy cannon shipment was we started building an outpost so that we could ship them to our forward base, and we changed the home city drop-off point to that forward location. Now they don't have to march all the way across the battlefield. We've just shipped them to the front base. We're upgrading our dragoons. Our dragoons are going to be Jeanettes. It's always important, if you're an age ahead, make sure you are upgrading your units. There's no point in being in the 4th age if your units are still veteran. It's really, really important. You've got to get those veteran upgraded into guard. I've shipped the 2 factories as well, so now they're going to be producing heavy cannons full time. I avoid having them on the front line, even though it reduces the travel time, it's not safe to do so. You're going to be at a significant loss if you lose your factories as a consequence of having them on the front line. It's a lot safer to keep them on the back line. So the enemy doesn't seem to have a real answer to the heavy cannons. We continue rallying them in. I begin heading towards Imperial at 21 minutes. And at this time, our economy is just in absolute overdrive. We make sure that we micro our heavy cannons very carefully. We don't want to lose one. If we lose one at the front line, it's going to give us a big impact. So we're very safe. Even though there were 10 Nanagatas that just came in, we were able to kill them all because there's so much health on the heavy cannon. When it comes to defending your heavy cannons, don't be afraid to sacrifice your dragoons. Your dragoons are replaceable, but your heavy cannons are not. They are going to generate a lot slower than your dragoons. So that's why I have no problem putting my heavy cannons in the very front of the, or keeping my heavy cannons at the back and keeping my dragoons at the very front of the fight, and letting them take all of the enemy fire, because the heavy cannons are what are dishing out the damage. Once we hit Imperial, we get a further shipment of 2 heavy cannons. They begin moving in from the right-hand side of the screen. And from here, it's really just GG. The enemy is unable to keep up with our meme magic. You can see I'm shipping home city cards that are just increasing my score. This is just a further flex on the opponent. I'm 83,000. I'm more than all 3 of them combined at this point. And, you know, I've got the big guns. And our unit combination is always going to be heavy cannons and dragoons. We don't want to go organ guns, even though they're cool and they make that awesome sound. Let me imitate it for you guys. They're just not as effective as heavy cannons. Heavy cannons have got a massive AoE, and they absolutely destroy the enemy compared to the organs, which are slow, and they take a lot more time to dish out their payload than the heavy cannons do. So avoid building organ guns, and just continue spamming Jeanettes and heavy cannons into the enemy base, and you really just roll over them. The Portuguese economy is enormous. Another thing is, don't forget to build forward barracks and forward stables. Build them all over the map. If you start to receive pressure at a certain point in the map, it's a way for you to be able to respond quickly and effectively. Instead of running your units all the way across the map, you can just simply train new units. In the meme decks, I encourage people to always have the train faster cards. They really offer you a lot of flexibility in the late game. I include both in my deck, and that is the most greedy Portuguese build that's possible. There is a greedier build, but it's only a build that you can do on water maps. If you would like to see that build, let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can arrange having it posted. Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. This is the greediest build that you can do as the Portuguese on land maps. If you haven't done so already, I encourage you to check out the Discord. There's a lot of great content on there, including my deck picks, so if you'd like to see those, make sure you jump on there and check that out. Other than that though, I hope that you've enjoyed the video and been able to take something away from it. Thank you for watching.